Hello and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Jessa Jeremiah, and we have a fabulous show for you today. We're going to learn a few things about insurance. We're also checking in with the Wisconsin State Fair, which is going to be coming sooner than you know it. And right now we're going to learn a little bit about Focus Boardshop. So if you like board sports, this is your segment. We're chatting with the owner, John Doby, who most people know as Doby, and I'm so glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So thanks for joining us. Okay, so we were just chatting before we started about this shop. You have a couple of locations. We'll tell you where they are in just a minute. But first, talk to us a little bit about the products that you sell at Focus.
Yeah, so we specialize in snowboards, skateboards, longboards, and then like all the clothing and shoes that kind of go with those. And then we're the premier dealer for Burton, Never Summer, Sector 9 longboards, and our skateboard selection is kind of always changing just depending on kind of what kids are into.
Okay, so I heard a lot of boards, of course, in there, and some really great brands that I'm sure people who are into this sport know a lot about.
Yeah.
I want to share with some folks too. Now, as a business owner, I'm sure that you have taken just a lot of special interest in making sure that your shop really sets itself apart from others. What do you think really makes Focus special?
I think the big thing with us is when people think, about going to a skateboard shop or a snowboard shop, maybe they're intimidated that they need to know more about it or they need to kind of be already like a part of the culture. And our whole thing is trying to set up an atmosphere and an environment that's not the case. You can come in, and whether you've been into it for 10 years, you're going to find the products that you want, or if you're just starting out and you don't really have any clue, well, we can help you kind of find the stuff you're going to need.
That's really great. Well, I think it's good that you touched on that, because I think somebody may be watching at home who isn't into this yet. I mean, you have to start somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And I can absolutely, relate to that, having sort of an intimidation level, thinking that you do have to kind of go in walking the walk and talking the talk. But that's what you guys are there for, right? Is to kind of help educate as well.
Yeah, that's what our staff's there for, is to make sure that they're educated and that you don't have to worry about that and be intimidated. So you can. Everybody start like we all started, so.
So along those same lines then, do you offer any kind of lessons or anything like that?
Yeah, and then, so we just started a new like intro to skateboarding and longboarding lesson that's just like a half-hour Sunday lesson at 11:30. That's just super basic, pushing around. And then we also do like 1 hour private lessons pretty much at all the skate parks too.
Oh, great.
And that we've been doing for years, so.
I think that's smart. You don't necessarily want to, at least at my age, get out there and hit the skate park without any lessons.
Yeah, you get a little pointers goes a long way.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, show off this longboard, too.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't really know before we got started what a longboard was.
This is probably like my oldest longboard.
Okay, so basically what makes it different from a skateboard is just that it's longer,
yep.
right?
So this is like your transportation side of skateboarding. Like nowadays, like a modern skateboard's really built for tricks, and this is really like cruising. So the nice thing is like anybody we have parents come in and the mom gets a longboard and the kid gets a skateboard and they can all go around and push.
It's a little more user-friendly for the beginners, right?
For sure.
So that's great. Okay, now let's talk really quick about your background now as a snowboarder and skateboarder both, right?
I started skating when I was maybe 8th grade, and then that winter, all my friends were snowboarding, so I started snowboarding, and as soon as I started snowboarding, knew I wanted to be a snowboarder, and that's kind of all I wanted to do, so I kind of competed a little bit and got kind of low-level sponsorships and stuff, but knew I wasn't ever going to be a pro snowboarder. So this is kind of my way to stay involved in snowboarding kind of forever. So
good for you.
Keep me
well,
attached.
That's great.
Yeah.
Help share your passion with others as they get introduced to the sport.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go, I want to make sure we chat a little bit about where your stores are. You've got one on the east side and one on the west side. Do you want to kind of give us a landmark?
Yep, the east side, that's our original shop. We've been there for 12 years. We're right by the Best Buy and the PetSmart. And then our new shop on Mineral Point Road, we're right next to CUNA Mutual, down a little from the mall. So we're pretty close to both malls now.
That's great. So you've got great locations both on the east side and the west side.
Yeah, easy to get to.
I think it's wonderful to meet you and be able to have an owner who is very passionate about the sport, but also who understands that there's a little bit of an intimidation factor there, and to provide those lessons and just help and support for people who are starting. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, we just want to have like a welcoming atmosphere. So
that's great. Well, you've been a joy to chat with. This is Doby, owner of Focus Boardshop, again, east side and west side of Madison. We've got more talk of the town, maybe a good segue. We're talking about insurance after the break, so stick with us.